good afternoon. Welcome to Big Bite Baits. We want to apologize, first of all, about yesterday. Obviously, Jordan, we couldn't go on the air because I think the whole world was down when it came to Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. So basically, we decided just to go ahead and try it today, even though our usual followers are used to us being on Monday. But hopefully, maybe they'll catch us. I do want to point out we're now on YouTube as well. So you can, if you missed the show, you can always go back to YouTube and look at it that way. So I thought that was pretty neat. So today we're going to do several things we're going to talk about. But first, we're going to get camoed out. Jordan, tell me a little bit about the special we've got right now on the internet with our camo.
So all these are 15% off at bigbitebaits.com/camo. Show them to us.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about them. We've got a winter style camo hat. It's a solid back with a flex band that's on there. We have a moss silk breakup hat with a vented back. This the one that I'm wearing, and it's very good. And then we have a couple other unique ones. We have what I call the World War II camo, which is your vintage camo with the black mesh. That's a really neat looking hat. Then we have, for you duck hunting guys, we've got the shadow grass, or we call it the blades, I believe, on the internet. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the neat thing about it is we put the printing in black. That way it wouldn't be obvious if you happen to be a duck hunter and want to wear it and still represent your favorite tackle company. And then, of course, you've got the beanie for the cold weather guys that's ready to go. So we got it quite. And then we've got one new item that we can add to the group. We just got in. I believe we got these in yesterday. We now have a visor in the moss silk breakup. So definitely a lot of different ways to look at camo. You guys that like to hunt and still want to represent your fishing tackle company, you can do that as well. Or if you just like to wear camo, we got it. Definitely check it out. And like I said, like Jordan said, we've got a sale right now on the internet. Can't beat it. So, all right, questions from last week, or 2 weeks ago, actually. Excuse me. We left unturned, Jordan, and we need to touch on real quick.
Sure. Here's one I have from Grant411. Grant is wondering, what's the best big bite trailers for football jigs?
Well, that's a real good question, Grant. I think we have about 3 things that I could recommend on that. I mean, there's lots of options, but I would either use a Fighting Frog, a 4-inch Fighting Frog. It's a little bulkier. I like to use that. The Kamikaze Craw, and then, of course, the Swimming Craw. I think those 3 are probably our better 3 trailers. You can use any of them and be successful with them. They all come in a lot of colors, so you can kind of blend and match it to your jig. But I think that's a good question.
Okay, here's another one. From Bass Fishing Maniac is wondering, what is the best color for soft plastics?
Well, if you look at it all time, I think watermelon red has probably been the biggest seller of any color, probably that's ever been developed. But I do think there's a couple of new colors that are on the scene that are really good. You can do your tilapia versions, your tilapia magic. It seems to be really popular. And then, of course, in your black and blue varieties, that hematoma kind of sticks out to me as being one we sell a lot of. So you can't go wrong with any of those colors. But I guess the correct answer to your question would be watermelon red. It's probably one of the oldest ones left out there. So definitely, that's the way I kind of see it anyway, for sure. Okay. So today, Jordan, I thought we might just take a few minutes. It's fall's beginning to get in the air. They're harvesting peanuts down here in our part of the world, so that kind of lets you know we're getting close to fall. And they're defoliating the cotton, and it's just everything's looking toward the fall. It's beginning to maybe have some cool mornings. So the fish are going to slowly begin to transmigrate up into the flats and begin to chase shad. And I think I told one time on this show that I like to throw a rattle trap that time of year. But now that's an old school version of how to fish that. And I think we've got something a lot of guys are doing now that's a lot newer that I just kind of want to touch on. And that's using a swim bait to target those fish in the back of the creeks, the ones that are up on the flats, maybe some that are on the riprap. And how I would recommend targeting those is using our swimmer head. We have the swimmer head. We offer in several different sizes and several different colors. And then maybe pair it with several of the swim baits I'm fixing to talk about. I think are pretty good. You can pair it with a suicide shad. So what you get in a suicide shad, you get a hand-painted bait that has no ribs, that's slick-sided, but has good action. But it has more lifelike colors. And we make like 20-something different colors, 36 colors actually of suicide shads. So, and all the different shad colors. And that's the first thing I would recommend to do. Also can put this on an Alabama rig and do real well with it. That's how I like to use it, okay? All right, so the second one you could go to would be our finesse swimmer. It comes in 9 colors. and it's a little meatier body. If you want a body, and it's segmented halfway down. Still has good action, but you just got a lot more meat up here for those who like a little more meat. So that's another way that you could approach it. Okay. Or lastly, you could approach it with a pro swimmer, either a 3.3 or a 2.8, a smaller size pro swimmer. I would recommend just matching your hatch. If you happen to get a hold of one of those shad, see the size of it, then match your bait. And that looks really good. It has a completely segmented body and has a lot of action as well. And that's another way to go. And we actually offered a pro swimmer in 22 colors, and we did that in that 2.8 and that 3.3 size that I mentioned. Now, I'm also going to show you 4 new colors that we have in this particular bait. The one I have in my hand is called Flashy Gill. It's a brand new color we just introduced at ICAST. And then we've got the Ghost, which is a new color, which is a white with kind of a pearlescent purple back on it. It's pretty nice. Okay, then you've got the G-Pock Money, Garrett Paquette's favorite color. That's really neat. I believe you caught fish on this one when you were up at St. Clair, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, so it's a really good bait, real good color. Smallmouths, I know, love it for sure. And then you've got the flash of the perch dinner that you can go to, which is just a brim color, perch color type bait that you can use to entice them from that area. So those are 4 new colors that we have in that pro swimmer. But you can't go wrong, I don't think, with any one of these swim baits paired up with this swimmer head, and it works real well. And the nice thing about it, all you Alabama rig guys, any of these baits will work wonderful on Alabama rig. And I know that's real big in the fall down here in the South. So that's some things that you can look at and do basically to make you catch better and try to, make things work for you. Questions, Jordan? We got anybody out there talking to us that's letting us have anything for us basically?
Sure. Here's a question from
All right, good.
Drew Putnam, and several people are wondering some of your favorite fall baits.
I like to use a lot of moving baits in the fall. I kind of speed my game up, so I don't necessarily all the time use the plastic, but I would definitely use this swim bait. I like to use a rattle trap to cover a lot of type, that's some type of red eye shad, some type of rattling bait. I also like to use a buzz bait on top, or either like a whopper popper, something that moves a lot that, constantly, and a chatterbait seems to kick back in about this time of year with a swim on the back of it, seems to work real well. So that's just some of the things that I would recommend trying if you like to. Now, if you like to fish slow, then you probably have a different idea how you want to do it. But I kind of think things are kind of getting spunky again in the fall, and the fish are getting after it. So I try to cover as much water as possible.
Okay, so is this about when you start to throw that buzzbait again?
Yeah, it's getting about that time. When we get that first cool snap, it seems the things start to kick in and kind of watch the shad and see when they're beginning to migrate, and that works real well. Okay. Definitely.
And you mentioned the Alabama rig a few times. Is this the time of year too?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I like to throw that out over structure offshore. I like to use like a 1/4 ounce head on it with like, we've talked about this in the past on shows, but do maybe the outside 4 in one color and then make a teaser in the middle, put a Redmond in the middle or something just to give them something to kind of catch their eye. I think that works real good this time of year too. So, up until it gets cold, winter seems to be the time to use all that type of stuff, definitely.
Okay.
So,
yeah, maybe we'll do another Alabama rig show.
Yeah, we might can do that. That'd be something we can look to do here in the next couple of weeks. Now, before we get off the air, I do want to tell everybody I will not be on the air next week as I will be out of town. I'm going to be in Michigan for a week. I'm going on a little deer hunt. So I'll be back in the following Monday, and we'll see everybody then. Up until that time, it's good, and we enjoyed it.